I was watching the new Ghostbusters film with the all-female cast. Wait, don't go. This isn't a review of that movie. I know everyone is tired of talking about it. But while I was watching the new film, I was thinking about how the real Ghostbusters shaped my childhood. I wanted to be a Ghostbuster. For better or worse, the Ghostbusters were among my first role models. And role models matter. Real or fictional, they guide us and inspire us to hopefully be better than what we are. And regardless of all the controversy of an all-female cast of Ghostbusters, I don't see these women being for little girls today what the Ghostbusters were for me when I was a kid. Which got me thinking, who are the female role models for young geek girls out there today? So, this is my top 9 role models for young girls in sci-fi and fantasy. I'm Mr. Divery, and this is One Geek's Opinion. Number 9, Hermione. In a school of wizards, Hermione is often at the head of the class. She's the brains of the operation in Harry Potter's quest to fight against Voldemort. You know, that weird albino guy with no nose. Full disclosure, I am not a Harry Potter fan. I haven't seen all the movies and I haven't read any of the books. But Hermione's interesting to me. She's Muggle-born, which means she's human, but she can learn and excel in magic with the best of them. Unlike most characters in fantasy stories, including Harry himself, Hermione doesn't gain her skills because she was born with it or destined to do it. She has to work hard in spite of not having the same God-given talents most of her peers have.
Stop. You're going to take someone's eye out. Besides, you're saying it wrong. It's Leviosa, not Leviosa. Wingardium Leviosa.
Her true power is intellect and hard work. Yeah, that's a role model. Number 8, She-Hulk. Ever wonder what would happen if the Incredible Hulk crossed with Ally McBeal? Of course not. The show went off the air in 2002. But if you did wonder, the answer would be the Incredible She-Hulk. Jennifer Walters is Bruce Banner's lawyer cousin who he gave a blood transfusion to, and it turned her into She-Hulk. For a while, She-Hulk was your typical pointless female version of a male character doing everything the guy does but with boobs. However, over time, She-Hulk grew into a much more confident and independent character and became the symbol in Marvel Comics of a strong, confident woman. And then, in 1989, she starred in her own book, The Sensational She-Hulk, where the character was constantly breaking the fourth wall, talking directly with the audience, and even arguing with her artists and writers about how they wanted to over-sexualize her for the teenage boys reading comics. She was the Deadpool of her day, and really showed a female superhero could be strong, smart, sexy, and funny all at the same time. Number 7, Rey. Oh, hey, did you hear? Star Wars is back, and for the first time in like 30 years, it's really, really good again. The Force Awakens introduces us to Rey, a young kick-ass girl living on her own, fighting sand people and the First Order. She's a pilot, she can beat you up with her staff, she has the Force powers, and she doesn't sit around waiting to be rescued.
No, the one I'm pointing to. No. If we don't patch this up, the propulsion tank will overflow and flood this ship with poisonous gas.
This?
Yes.
A lot of people claim she's a Mary Sue. I'm not sure I agree. But either way, right now, I don't care. She's the first female character in a Star Wars film little girls can play as since Leia. She goes on the list. Okay, honesty time. I'm not a big fan of The Walking Dead comic books, and I've only seen a few episodes of The Walking Dead TV show. But The Walking Dead video game by Telltale Games is amazing. One of the best parts of the series is Number 6, Clementine. We're introduced to the character as a young girl who is separated from her parents in the middle of a zombie apocalypse. We have to watch her grow up in the worst possible environment ever. Zombies everywhere, and not a place to stay. Clementine is at first very naive and a bit helpless, but her wit and charm keep her initial role as a damsel in distress from getting annoying. As the series goes on, and after the things she's forced to see and do to stay alive, And through the slow burning of character development, she becomes a leader, a fighter, a savior, and a protector. And she's not even 13 years old.
Then we just need someone to go set off that PA, right? I mean, you never bothered to explain who's supposed to do that. Wait, hold on. She's the plan?
Let's go.
She's the epitome of the idea that what doesn't kill you, ladies, will make you stronger. Number 5, Oracle. So in 1967, Barbara Gordon came on the scene as Batgirl. Actually, the second Batgirl. She had a good run as a secondary Robin of sorts, but Babs didn't really hit it big in pop culture until 1988 in the Batman comic The Killing Joke, in which longtime Batman foe, the Joker, shoots Barbara Gordon, paralyzing her from the waist down. Horrible, horrible event for Barbara Gordon, but the greatest event for her character development. Confined to a wheelchair, Barbara Gordon began to study computer and networking technology and quickly became the master hacker known as Oracle. With her advanced knowledge of the internet, Oracle became a superhero within her own right, using her hacking skills to take down bad guys, but more importantly, to be the information hub for Batman as well as most of the other heroes in the DCU. That's right, Batman would often call Oracle up to get information, and when she didn't want to wait around for other heroes to get the job done, she had her own team of operatives known as the Birds of Prey, basically her own superhero Charlie's Angels. And even though she was a woman confined to a wheelchair, she had the power and reach that made her a god-tier status character in the DC universe. And then New 52 happened, and that was pretty much all over. So Disney made another princess movie. Ugh. After not liking Frozen, yeah, I said it, I had no interest in this flick, even if it does have The Rock. But a friend told me to give it a shot, so I did, and I'm glad. It was a good film. But what I really liked was number 4, Moana. Because her struggle wasn't about marrying a prince, nor was it about the role of a woman in a man's world. It was about her role as a leader versus her personal desire to explore the unknown.
I am Moana of Motunui. This is my canoe, and you will journey to different...
And she's back.
I am Moana of Motunui.
It's almost an oxymoron, but this was a really powerful feminist movie because there was nothing feminist about it. The film starts with the premise that this girl is fit to be chief. She doesn't have to beat up or outsmart some guy. No bully or bad guy is saying, "Why should we listen to a girl?" Nope. She's just the leader, and it's her job to help her people through her skill and determination, and that's what she does. Also, I have a thing for waterbenders. Number 3, Wonder Woman.
I am Diana, Princess of the Amazons. I won't be denied.
It would almost be illegal for me to have this list if Wonder Woman wasn't on it. She's a literal icon of the women's liberation movement. The creator of Wonder Woman was way ahead of his time in the 1940s, believing that women were equal to men in every way. She was the first female superhero, and more than that, she was the first female superhero to star in her own comic book. It took 40 years for another female superhero to break out of the role of submissive damsel in distress and become her own independent, strong character. Not to say Diana didn't have her setbacks. Wonder Woman has struggled to find her voice in the world of comic book media. Although she's the most well-known female character ever, her sales don't match her iconic status. It's been a struggle to balance her role as a feminist icon when her most active readers were teenage boys. She's been around as long as Superman and Batman, and yet both of them have starred in at least 7 big-budget movies, and she's only now getting her first. Girls everywhere want to be Wonder Woman, and it's because she isn't a girl version of Superman, she's a woman version of the Superman fantasy. Several decades before Sue Storm and Jean Grey dropped girl from their name, DC had a woman on the Justice League, and her name was Diana. With all the struggles Wonder Woman has had getting mainstream success, Who would have ever thought her film would be more popular than a film starring Batman and Superman? You go, girl! Woman, I mean woman. Number 2. Number 1. Who? Who is this? What's she doing on this list? Yeah, I know. Unless you're a hardcore sci-fi nerd, you've probably never heard of her. Before Captain Janeway, before Captain Picard, before Uhura, and even Captain Kirk himself, there was Number 1. When Gene Roddenberry pitched the idea of Star Trek back in the 1960s, he wrote the part of the first officer of the ship as a woman. This was groundbreaking at the time. Although Captain Pike showed a level of disrespect towards women officers, he actually had a lot of admiration for his first-in-command, only known as Number 1. She was smart, cool, and calculating, and she lasted for exactly 1 episode. Test audiences didn't like her, especially women. They felt a woman giving orders didn't know her place. Oh, ladies, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Because of this, the character was scrapped, and her traits of being cool-headed and logical were given to Mr. Spock, along with her rank and title as first officer. And Number 1 was never heard from again. It's curious to think, what would Star Trek and science fiction in general look like today if they kept Number 1 around? So next time you hear Picard say, "Make it so, Number 1," remember who Number 1 really is. Number 1, Korra, from The Legend of Korra / Avatar: The Last Airbender series. Korra is the newest avatar in a long line of avatars. Using her ability to bend all 4 elements, Korra has to keep the world in balance. For the first 2 seasons, I found Korra to be the least interesting character in her own show. By season 3, she started to grow on me, and by season 4, I liked her a lot. She spends much of the series trying to understand the world and her place in it. She's courageous, strong, and always trying to do better.
Why would you save my life? After everything I did to you? I guess I see a lot of myself in you. We are nothing alike. Yes, we are. We're both fierce and determined to succeed, sometimes without thinking things through.
But is she really worthy of the Number 1 spot on the list? Honestly, no. But putting her on the list allows me to bring up Usami, Lin, Sue, Katara, Toph, Suki, Kaya, and so many more great female characters who have been in the Avatar series. And that's really what's Number 1. A series that gives little geek boys and little geek girls an equal number of characters to enjoy. And this is not an intentionally girl power show where all the characters with skill and brains happen to be girls while the boys are all bumbling idiots. It's a show about characters. It's a show where ability and gender are pretty equal. Korra is Number 1 because shows like Avatar and The Legend of Korra are where I hope little girls today can find their own female geek role models. And also, I have a thing for waterbenders. Kai is my favorite. So, that's my top 9 list of female role models in sci-fi and fantasy. Do you agree or disagree? Say so in the comment section. But more importantly, tell me who you think should have been on the list. I'm sure there are a lot of female characters I overlooked, and I'm really interested in other people's opinions. And if you like this video, hit the like button. If you didn't, I appreciate you watching it anyway. If you want to see more videos, hit the subscribe button. As always, I'm Mr. Divery, and that was One Geek's Opinion.